What is up, everybody? This is video number 4, and this is for helping out people who are beginning. So this video is going to be more strategy. The first strategy that I referred to was buying earnings winner. The second one that I really like is sympathy plays or sector momentum. And pretty much what is a sympathy play / sector momentum is when a stock in a particular sector starts to heat up. And what I mean by heating up is like you'll have one stock go from maybe $4 to $20, then you'll see other stocks that have no news or nothing like that. Remember when on a previous video lesson, I said that news is what fuels stocks. Sometimes you would have a stock that would move without news, and if they're in a hot sector and you have multiple stocks in that same sector start moving, so the sympathy behind it is other stocks in the sector would move as well. So just think of this analogy: a rising tide lifts all boats. So if you're in that same sector, your company, your fundamentals, your everything about the company don't necessarily have to be good for the stock to start going up. And in just a few minutes, I'm gonna give you analogy. I mean, not analogy, but a couple examples of two trades in particular that I did. That was sector momentum, and which I really profited real big on. So I know people here before, because I always get this question asked, and people say, "Oh, the weed stocks, they're pretty good, right?" And my answer always is the same. It's like, well, not really, because that sector is not moving. If you looked at weed, like 2 or 3 years ago, yes, that sector was really hot. They had like the weed mania. So the sector of weed, anytime that any company announced anything about some type of marijuana, the stock would go from, it'll 100%, 200%, 300%. So that's like right around here. This was actually in 2018, around the weed sector, and you could see the volume. So the stock on this particular day announced something, and it went from 11 cents all the way up to 18 cents. I mean, there were so many different. I don't remember all the names, but I know MJNA. That was one in particular. Okron. That was one in particular as well too. This is another weed stock. So weed stocks right now, they're not really in play, so I'm not playing, weed stocks. So Okron, it went from initially it started in the dollars, and it really got some movement here from like 9 to 25 in a matter of a couple of days. So that's when the sector was really popping. There was another one, TRL. It was T something. Oh, there it is. Yep, there it is. Look. Now look at this. During the weed sector, is a weed stock. It went from $30-something all the way to $300 in a matter of days. So again, hopefully these things, they do cycle out. So hopefully whenever the weed sector start popping again, you're gonna know to be able to, hey, weed is popping, and I'm gonna go ahead and buy the stock and just ride this wave. Had another one, another sector that was popping, Bitcoin. So last year, Bitcoin stocks was moving. Let me find it. Here it is. Bitcoin. This stock was trading at 36 cents. So Bitcoin mania, the sector for Bitcoin, it was popping. So any stocks, that was anything related to Bitcoin, if they announced anything about Bitcoin, the stock would go from, it went from 31 cents all the way to $3.15 in a few days. So those type of plays that you should be looking for, they don't always happen. When they do happen, though, you definitely want to be at a place to know what you're doing and to understand like what is causing it. And I am gonna break it down to like what to look for and how you're gonna know that, hey, this sector is hot. Um, yeah, Bitcoin. During the Ferguson shooting, body cam was a big thing. Um, so some companies that had body cam, I'm trying to think. Let me see if I can Google it. Body cam companies. Stop. Like during the shootings, when police brutality and stuff like that, body cam stocks, they were going crazy. Just trying to find like one company so that way you can see example. Oh, DGLY. Yep, I remember that one. DGLY. Uh, it had its big run up here. This was like back in 2014, 2015. But yeah, had a big run up because that sector itself was hot and it was popping. And so the newest thing that's out right now that is or oil. Before I get to, and I'm gonna show you the two plays. Oil was one sector that was hot. I think in either October. Yuma. So Yuma was a pretty hot sector. I mean, Yuma was the stock that I traded, and oil was in play. So on this day, this is when I made my $1,000. I made $1,000 in one trade, and let me find that. Let me search for it. I gotta go dig through it. Let's see if nope. Let's go to the next one. Nope. Man, I got a lot of trades. Alright, it is. Yuma, I made $1,030 in one day. And this was a sector momentum. It It had low floats. It was a former runner, and it was breaking out past a key level. So, how did I know that it was a sector momentum? The easiest way to find out if something is a sector momentum, if you have your TD Ameritrade, platform, all you have to do is go to the scan. And the way I have my scan set up, I have stocks, minimum, penny, and I don't have maximum $10. Then I put stock volume, at least 1 million in volume, and no maximum. Then the second thing, stock change percentage, 10%. So if you use those criteria, you could scan the whole market, and it's gonna find you all the stocks. So one simple way, once you do the scan, the system do it automatically for you to find out if something is a sector momentum, is you just simply just look at the name. You look at the top percent gainer. So this stock right now is up 161%. So because it's up 161%, I want to see, is there any other stock in that sector? It has energy in it. So that's a giveaway that, okay, this is an energy stock. So my next thing is to look at and see, well, is there any other stocks that's up 100% that's in the same energy field? Minerals, that could be considered energy. This is energy. And I go down the line, go down the line, go down the line. I really don't see anything else that have energy in it. So I could automatically eliminate and say, okay, well, the energy sector is not really moving. And not only that, is the price of the stock. Typically, whenever a sector momentum, the stocks tend to be priced higher, like $2, $3, $4, and they would be up 100%. So I would look at leaders from that aspect, as far as like the stock is trading in the dollar marks. So because of that, I would want to see other stocks coming in, like either in the penny stock world, or $2 or $3 other stocks. And I typically want to see about maybe 6 or 7 stocks in the same sector. If I see 6 or 7 stocks in the same sector that are up, and I look at the stock and I don't see no news for why that stock is supposed to be up, then I would just simply just put that down on my sector watch, because you have one big stock that is up a ton, then you have all these other ones that are just moving with no news, and they are in the same sector. Those will be considered sector momentum. And if you're confused, as far as to finding out, like, okay, well, how would I know? Like, let's say it doesn't say like energy, or it doesn't say anything like that. How would I find out with the other ones? So simple way of doing it is, let's say this didn't say pharmaceutical. Um, all you would do is just go to Finviz, and again, like I said, these are the websites that I use, finviz.com. And on Finviz, they have this really nice tool. Okay, they go to the same stock, ARMP. All you have to do is click on it, ARMP, and it tells you the sector, healthcare, biotechnology, and it's based out of the US. So all you would have to do is normally click on the middle one. This is too broad. Biotech is a little bit better. Then all you would have to do when you get to here, once you click on it, it's going to pull up all the stocks that are in the stock market that are biotech stocks. And another thing that you could do is you could change it based upon the percentage. So all these stocks. So as you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it already meets my criteria. 7 stocks that's in the biotech. Oops. It actually is a sector momentum. So right now, biotech stocks, there are sector momentum. And the reason behind it is because of the coronavirus. So they're looking for some type of vaccination or some type of cure or something like that. And that's gonna bring me up to my next stock that I traded, that I made with that one. I think I made 1,500 and just over the weekend. But I'll get to that just a little bit. But just seeing it, you're just doing like simple research. It's not too hard. You see what's in the industry, then you find the leader. So normally, another thing that you need to understand too about the leader too is, if the leader finish weak, then the other stock, they're gonna follow it as well. So right now, this wouldn't be a good buy for the biotech, because the leader, which is this company here, 77%. It's only up 77%. AR. So that way I'll show you like how the chart look. ARMP, ARMP. Right. With this, check out the wick. This went up, then it just faded for the rest of the day. So it didn't finish strong. So another thing that you want to see too is that the stock finish strong. Because if it doesn't finish strong, how else is anyone else gonna buy this particular stock? Because you want to see some type of upward trend to be able to buy it. So there's no upward trend. So with sector momentum, there's specific things that have to happen. So I'm going to give you the example for, go back over the trade for Yuma. Sector momentum, it had a low float. And if you don't know what a low float is, it's just pretty much how many shares are available in the company for you to be able to trade. The lower the float, the faster the stock would rise and fall. So sector momentum, low float, it was a former runner. A former runner is just simply a stock that ran before in the past. So all in the stock market, all of this is data. This is data each day. So you look to the left of the chart. You want to find out before, like, can this stock spike? When I bought it on this day, I already knew it could spike. That's looking at a 5-year chart. See, like this long thing? Spike. Here's a spike. Here's a spike. Here's a spike. Here's a spike. And they're going to spike again. Like, I know that this stock could spike. So you want to look for stocks as well that could spike. Because if you don't want to buy something in a sector that you know that haven't shown before, that it could spike, so you're not going to try to reinvent the wheel. So that's another thing to remember. Can a stock spike? So, so yeah, you got that. It could spike. Another thing on my analysis was, okay, sector momentum, low float, and you could find the float count on Yahoo Financing if you are curious. Where can I find the float? So all the stuff that I provided. Like I said, these are everything that I use to be able to trade. It's not a hard process. It's really easy once you're able to just put it in motion over and over and over again. It's through the repetition of doing things. So you do Yahoo Financing, you type in the ticker, which was YUMA, then it gives you all this option. You click on statistics, and from statistics, look at the float count. This have 890,000 as far as shares. That's considered a low float. Like any float that is below 3 million, 3 to 4 million, 4 million below is, in my opinion, considered a low float, and they have the potential of running the most. So another reason why I bought it on that day was it was having issues around this area. So this area was the top. It tried to, let me see, what was my entry just to verify. Yep, 514. Like previous, before I saw that it had trouble like right around this area, and once I saw that it broke past this area during pre-market, I just bought it, and I knew that I was gonna have some trouble with this stock around this area, so I sold before it got in that area. So very simple. I bought 1,000 shares, and I sold like at 617, right before it got to this area right here. So bought it past this area, sold it before it got to this area. One thing that I would really suggest that you do is technical analysis. Look up a video on YouTube about technical analysis. Without it, you wouldn't be able to be successful in the stock market. You got to understand technical analysis. There are some great videos out there, so anyone that you see with technical analysis on their screen, you should definitely watch it and just do some research on it, because that's what this was pretty much. That's how I knew to when to buy and when to sell. All right, so yeah. So boom, made $1,000 off of that based upon sector momentum. So sector momentum, remember, is just a stock that's in a particular sector that there's other stocks in it that are moving up. Last example of my trades. Alright, this one was recent, so this was on Monday. APT was a sympathy play because of the coronavirus. So APT, and now it's not doing nothing. It's crashing and burning, and actually you'll see the same pattern over and over and over again. Like if you looked at my previous with Bitcoin, you saw a big line and it went down, so it's having the big down. So it's the same pattern over and over again. But I bought it. Bought this, matter of fact, twice. The first time I bought it was because of this little breakout here. I knew this thing was gonna go up each day. We were getting headline news about the coronavirus and how more and more people are being affected by it. So this stock is in that field where they're trying to help with the mask and the protective bodysuit for protective bodysuit so that way they could help the people in China and people in the United States and people all over the world. So to me, anytime I hear anything that's global, that's gonna automatically be a sympathy play on the stock market. Anything that's affecting the whole world, just like when Ebola was really big, there was a lot of sympathy plays in the stock market, where Ebola stocks were just running up, and actually APT was one of them. It was a former runner. That's another thing. Remember when I said look for stocks that are former runners? APT, at the time when Ebola, it was a former runner. Let me find it. Let's say right around here. Just going up, and eventually comes down. So now that that the coronavirus is out, I immediately looked for all the stocks that was in the sector, and this is the same thing that I did, because at the time I looked it up. There was a whole bunch of stock that was up, and the leader at the time was actually NNVC. NNVC. So NNVC, see the pattern? Going up, 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 then have a crash. NVC was just steady going up. So I knew during the weekend, which was Friday, I made this trade Friday. I know during the weekend that more news, and I figured more people were going to be infected by the coronavirus, and that the stock itself was going to generate a lot of buzz. More people were going to come to the stock, and they were going to try to buy it. So what I did was I got in before everyone. I bought it pre-market for APT. Bought it, and I sold it the next trading day, which was that Monday. Made $1,500, all because of the sympathy. So again, what I did, scan it. The number one stock that was on it was, where is it at again? NNVC at the time. NNVC was trading at like $10 or something like that, and it was already up like 100%. And there was so many other stock that was in play. Oh, here's another one, LLIT. This one, sympathy off of it. This stock was at like 56 or 60 cents, and it got all the way up to 282. This was a sympathy. And again, since the leader, like I said, whatever the leader do, the other stock is going to follow. So NNVC crashed, so LLIT crashed as well. Here's another one, CODX, sympathy play because of the virus. This went from, look at it, $1.18 all the way to $3.50. Then it crashed. AEMD, same thing. Coronavirus, it went from $1.76 to $4. What was another one? Did LLIT? Oh, the one that I shorted today, CBLI. CBLI, same thing. It was trading at $1.35, jumped up and got all the way to $4.90. Then, of course, the leader went down, so it went down. So, yeah, when it comes to sector momentums, those are probably the best way to grow an account. But the only worst thing about it is that it doesn't happen every day. So when it do happen, gotta be prepared. So hopefully this video was able to help someone. If you have any questions and need me to clarify anything, feel free, to send me a message. I don't mind answering any questions. But I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. So this is Vlad signing off. Peace.